indeed. Okay, let's move to the United States and the derailment of, a train carrying toxic chemicals. Well, we don't really know, or do we know yet, what it was carrying?
Well, in part we do, although it seems to be less than fully clear. This is a New York Times reporting. Toxic fumes released from a burning train that derailed in Ohio. So the report that 9 p.m. February the 3rd, Friday, February the 3rd, a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, a village of about 4,700 residents, not far from Pittsburgh. 150 cars were en route, and 38 cars derailed and a fire ensued which damaged another 12. Fearing an explosion, the authorities performed a controlled release of toxic materials from 5 train car tankers on February the 6th. So the thing was still an emergency situation 3 days later. These contents were diverted into a trench and burned off. The New York Times quotes Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio, who said, "We are ordering you to leave." At a news conference, "This is a matter of life and death." He added there was a grave danger of inhaling fumes from chemicals produced by the release, which authorities identified as phosgene, that's mustard gas, and hydrogen chloride. In high concentrations, both chemicals can cause severe and life-threatening respiratory issues. So this has not got much play in the press. This is a huge environmental catastrophe, and you think in these environmentally sensitive times this would have got a lot of concentration, but it hasn't really seemed to have received this. The Hill talks about 5 lingering questions, not urgent questions, not questions that demand a major political response, but lingering questions over the toxic spill. One of which is what was on the train and what got out. And they expand on this. As if faced with a risk of an explosion, emergency responders diverted the leaking vinyl chloride into a trench and burned it off, converting it into phosgene gas, used as a lethal chemical weapon in World War I. This prompted the evacuation. The Hill also asks, will it happen again? 4.5 million tons of toxic chemicals are transported through US communities every year by rail. 12,000 trains carrying hazardous materials cross through towns and cities each day. Palestine wreck is the tip of an iceberg and a red flag, said Ron Kamenkow, a former Norfolk Southern freight engineer and secretary for the Railroad Workers United. He told The Guardian, if something is not done, then it's going to get worse. The next derailment could be cataclysmic. And given what's happened here, that doesn't seem too much of a stretch. There's a lot of discussion here about whether there's not enough regulation, of whether I suspect unionization and demarcation is an issue. Economics is obviously a driver. There doesn't seem to be a culture of safety, and there seems to be extensive concerns over shortcuts, problems with the rolling stock, problems with the track, problems with the basic infrastructure that's causing an increased number of derailments and increased number of accidents. And hence, this warning from a union official seems to be entirely credible. The next one could be much worse.
Yes, indeed.